Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to learn how to draw a portrait of a cat in 2 days. So how this works is basically I have to watch a few tutorials onto how to draw a cat, then I do my draft, and then I do my final copy. The final copy should take me 2 days. So I've already watched the tutorial and this is what I've got so far. It took me a few hours. I'm going to continue with that now. I'll show a time lapse. And then I'm going to hopefully teach you something that I learned. And then I'm going to do my draft. And then it's going to be the final copy. Hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so I'm at the drawing station. I got the tutorial here to play. I'll be time-lapsing this. I'll check in with you guys on this camera. The time-lapse is going to come from a GoPro that's up here. I'll check in and tell you guys basically where I'm up to. Just before we begin, I just want to mention this is basically just with a grey lid. In this tutorial, he says how later he's got to use a black pencil, so I got that in case. I got a sharpener, a rubber, very important, and a white pencil, but I don't think I'll need this. So you basically don't need anything for this, just a grey lid, maybe a black pencil, and definitely a rubber. Alright, time lapse should begin right now. So now I'm just checking in on what I've done. So since I last showed you, I've done the ears, I've done the fur of the ears, you can see here. And this is how it looks on the guy's tutorial. So not exactly the same, but I'm pretty happy with it. On the video it looks like maybe he has a better pencil or something, because just the way he does the fur looks so much more realistic than when I do it. I've been fixing it after I already paused the video. I've been fixing it for like 5 minutes and it still doesn't look the same. But hopefully it'll come together at the end. I'll check in with you guys later. So as you saw in the time lapse, I have made a lot of progress, but I've made even more progress just after I stopped the time lapse. I keep stopping the time lapse a bit earlier than what I'm actually up to, because the GoPro right now is currently charging and it keeps running out of battery, and I have to take it off and put it charging again. So after the time lapse stops, I always add a bit, but I've added quite a bit. So I've colored in most of the face. I'm going to refine the fur a bit later to make it look more realistic. I've added whiskers on one side. I've refined these patterns a bit more. I've added a few new ones, a bit lighter up there. And I've basically just been fixing the portrait of the cat a bit overall. So this will probably be the last time lapse for this drawing. And I'll see you at the end. Okay, I have finally finished the tutorial drawing. So as you can see, I've signed it. So I only have the standard black pencil, so my refining like the lines really didn't work out as well as I thought. I'm looking at the camera now, it looks a bit better in real life because it shows more detail. But yeah, I'm still very happy with it. So what I've decided to do is not actually do a draft, but what I'm going to do is have a maybe like 20 minutes to draw basically my own cat shape, as I did basically copy the whole shape from this tutorial. So it'll be a bit different to this, and then I'll basically do it myself, no help, all myself. I'll do a short 20-minute drawing of the shape basically and the lines, and then I'll do a proper drawing that'll take me a whole day. So this is how it looks on the tutorial. This is how mine looks. So my eyes are a bit closer together, and his obviously looks more realistic. He had some better pencils, and he refined it for 2 hours. I refined for like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So I'm still very happy with it. Okay, now onto my actual drawing. Okay, so now I am up to the real drawing, not the tutorial drawing. But before we get onto that, I just want to mention some things that I learned from this tutorial. One thing I've learned is when you're drawing the fur, this guy said to make sure to show direction in the fur. So basically, make sure don't just do scattered lines everywhere or shading in to make the fur. Do directional lines. So you maybe up close you can see a bit better. I try to do directional lines. I did fill it in with some different lines, but I basically went outwards when I was drawing it and try to distinct that. And I also learnt, which is very important, see this very vague square? I try to rub it out, but I should have drew it a bit thinner so it was easier to rub out. But this square is very important for symmetry and a straight drawing. What's another thing I learned? Ooh. Get a good black pencil and a good grey lid. Get they're called, I think, artist pencils or something. You can get them from a art and craft shop. I definitely recommend them. I just using the standard grey lid, standard black pencil. Especially the black was the problem, because every time I try to refine the drawing, it basically I can get it pointy, but it doesn't do the same job. It kind of draws like a grey lid, but in black. Maybe even get a fine line or just something that fills it in better and has a thinner point. Have something to look at while you're drawing. Like obviously I'm drawing the tutorial, but I also have my actual cat right there. For my good copy, I'm going to look up that cat and I'll show you it at the end. So to compare my drawing to the real thing. So have something to look at while you're drawing, so you have a vision. And that's everything for what I learned. Now let's get into the good copy. Okay, so past 15-20 minutes I've just been drawing the rough shape of how I want it to look. Honestly, there was not much of a point in doing this because it doesn't look as good as I thought. I will probably put the eyes even wider apart, maybe a bit lower down, make them a bit bigger. But I'll definitely use that pattern. It kind of looks like if you look closely, it kind of looks like a spider. I think that's pretty cool, and I think it looks similar to my cat. And I like the bottom part, maybe besides the side of the nose, but it'll look somewhat like this, just way more detailed. Alright, in the next video clip you see, we'll be starting our good copy, and that'll be the last part of the video. Enjoy. Okay everyone, I finally finished. It took me all day. I've probably been doing it for at least 5 hours straight, and I've been planning for the day before. Here it is. I can tell you it looks really good in person. I'm not sure how good it looks in the camera or in the video, but in person, especially from distance, it looks really realistic for me. So I have my cat here for comparison. Just 1 second. Oh, okay. He seems to have already got up. Yes, there's the cat. There's the drawing. It's a little freaked out, I'll let it down. Anyway, so I've learnt a lot of things from this experience. A lot of drawing techniques. This video has made me a much better drawer. And yeah, so I learnt a lot of things such as how to draw the shape. So you got to start off with the squares I mentioned earlier in the video. It really helps you get the perfect head shape and a symmetrical drawing. The whiskers, see, I couldn't actually do the whiskers how I liked for a reason that I'll explain in a moment. So you can see I just used grey lead and trying to make it stick out. They're not the best and they're not the thinnest whiskers, but it's the best I could do. So a lot of people, what they do for good drawings is basically they have the pencil with the rubber at the back. So basically what they do is they get it and they draw whiskers with the rubber, and very thin white whiskers. I sadly only have this rubber, and it's not exactly ideal. It's like an old rubber from like 5 years ago from my old school, and I just decided to go with the grey lead. But I think these are fine for not super detailed drawings. This would have been definitely better with better whiskers, but I'm still happy with this. Ooh, with the ears in this fur, you have to leave a bit of white to make it look more realistic, or it just looks like colored in fur. And eyes have to be ovaler, and the pupil has to be very sharp, like a leaf type thing. And you guys can take some of this into your own drawings in the future. And I hope you enjoyed, and leave a like, subscribe if you're new. See ya.
Turn it on.